Hey guys, Bryce Tubbs here. So I just want to make this video to just talk about what to think about when purchasing a bookkeeping business course. So I'm just one of those proponents of investing in yourself, continuously investing in yourself, even after you've reached the goal, just keep investing, keep investing, keep investing, keep investing. Now, on that note, though, I do have a six-figure firms mentorship program where I help you go from wherever you're starting out. Sometimes you're just getting started. Sometimes you have zero clients. Maybe you have 3 to 5 and you're trying to go get it to like 10K, 12K, or 15K per month, that I have a program for you to make sure you can go and reach that goal in the simplest, shortest time as possible. Just making sure that you know exactly what you need to do in order to go reach the goal. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, go ahead and click on the link inside the description below. I'm just going to take you to my calendar so that you can book a call with me. We'll talk about where you are right now. Where do you want to go? If I think it can help, I will outline the process. Then we can work together long-term if it makes sense for both parties. Now, just kind of going back to really looking at what are you thinking about when making a purchase of a course, right? Whether it's my program, whether it's like a different one, it doesn't really matter. You need to be thinking about a couple of different factors. So number one, you need to be thinking about like the amount of support, right? So there are some programs where it's like completely self-directed, meaning you just watch the videos and you're just kind of going through it and you can just kind of like pick and choose and learn from there, right? There's other ones that are just straight coaching and like where you're just talking to an individual. There are some where it's like, kind of group meetings where you're just doing meeting with like a small group. There's also some that are like really large and just kind of like really leverage, and they're just these huge coaching calls with like 40 or 50 people on the line. And there's just different levels of support within there, right? Now, I'm not saying that there's a right or a wrong way. I've been involved in all of them. I've been involved with like just a straight course where you're just watching the videos. I've been involved with like one-on-one coaching. I've been involved with group coaching, small group coaching, mastermind, and then really large leverage group coaching. And it really depends on what is your learning style. So there are some people, for example, like inside of my program, I have both like recorded modules for you to be able to not only like learn stuff, but also like past students doing things. So like past students using LinkedIn, past students booking call on Instagram, past students doing coaching, sorry, not coaching, but consultation calls, just a lot of like history of over the shoulder kind of walkthroughs. But some people, that's all they need. They just like go through that. They just start like just hitting off the park. Some people need a little bit more like speaking to you, right? So we have like the mentorship program where it's just kind of like talking, like, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. We have like unlimited text message support. So if you ever have like a problem where you just don't really know really what to say if someone like messages you, you can always take a screenshot of it and then send it to me, and either myself or my teammate will go and actually write the response for you, so you know exactly what you need to say, right? Now, there's sometimes where there's more of like a group coaching kind of program where you're on there with like 2 or 3 people on the call as well, and you can just kind of utilize their experience as well as talking to the person who's like leading it. I personally love this model the best, where it's like there's a course component as well as having like a small group coaching where it's like 2 to 4 people on the call, because then not only can you ask the questions you want, but you also get to see that like you're not really alone in the stuff that you're going through. A lot of people, like when they're getting started, they're kind of like lone wolves, where they're like, I'm the only person that's ever experiencing this. Like, it's so hard. It's so much harder for me than everybody else. But then when you get around other people, it's like, whoa, everybody's going through this. Everyone's trying the same thing. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Right. The other thing that's really cool about that is that if you don't know what question to ask, generally the people inside of that small group, some of them might be like slightly further ahead than you. So you can kind of recap like what's going on with them. You're like, oh, that's the next step. And you start making like these micro connections. Then you start being able to move forward really quickly. Now, when it comes to like being like in a leverage coaching program, that one's a little bit harder. Especially if like you need more of that hand holding support. Those ones where there's like 100 people on a call, that those are, to me, to be honest, like can be really hard depending on your level. For like a beginner, those kind of courses are like really challenging. So I wouldn't recommend you getting like involved like a leverage one like that. Now, there is another version which is like a mastermind. So a mastermind can be a little bit kind of interesting, right? Because there could be both one-on-one support as well as small group element. So for me, for example, we have the mastermind version of my mentorship program for people who are already making between 10,000 and 15,000, and they're trying to go and scale between 30 to about 50 grand per month, right? And the reason why those are important is because being around people that are tremendously further ahead than you generally brings you up to speed and makes you move a lot faster. For example, I was in this one mastermind from this like sales program, and there was like some guys that were doing, like, the head guy was doing like $2.5 million a month in sales, right? There's other guys that are doing like 500K a month in sales, and there's some that are doing $1 million a month in sales, and there's some guys that are doing like 185,000 in a day, right? And I was like just kind of around them. And then there was one guy in particular that I kept seeing online, and that, I was interested in like some of the stuff that he had, and he was like a mindset coach. And then I heard him on the call, and he was just kind of like just complaining. He was like, "This is so hard. This is so annoying. I'm tired of my team. I just want to quit. Like, oh, this is stupid." I'm like, "This is the mindset guy? Like, his course is all about showing you how to have like a better mindset." And this guy's the same guy who last week just sold $185,000 worth of his he was selling a coaching program. I was like, "Oh." Hmm. And the questions he's asking are the exact same questions that I usually ask. What? Because I used to think that, since I'm at the mid six-figure level, right, that there was something that either I didn't have or that I didn't really know that was preventing me from being able to go and blow up to $1 million per year, $5 million per year. And when I was like sitting there looking at this guy, I was like, he's the exact same as me. It's just he's been doing it a lot longer. And it was like, so I got two things out of that. The first thing I got was, one, you always have more problems, just different kind of problems. Two, everybody gets tired and needs to vent. Three, there's no difference between what this guy has and his skill set and yours. It's just he's a little bit better at it. He's been doing it longer, and he's willing to spend a lot more money on advertisements. That's another thing too. Like there's levels to this thing. Like, if you're trying to grow your business, especially like for me, when I'm growing like a coaching and mentorship program in addition to my accounting firm, the coaching and mentorship program, it involves some advertising expenses, and I'm not spending that much money. I'm spending like five to 6 grand a month in advertising. Um, but these guys, like one of my friends that I met in the mastermind program, he's spending 25 grand a month in advertising, $25,000 per month in advertising. And that's why he was making like 75,000 a month. And it's like, oh, so you just got to do exactly what you're already doing that's working times 3, 5, 10. And then you go and expand. And it's just a matter of like, can you actually handle the amount of clients that you get as a result of that? And it was just really, really interesting to kind of see those different levels. Now, the next thing is like, you really got to start looking at what is their content, right? So for example, how much free content does the person provide? Now, this is a weird thing. Most people don't really understand this. So if a person's like a bookkeeping like mentor, or an accounting mentor, an accounting coach, or a bookkeeping coach, and they have like no content that helps people out before they pay them money, like, do they really care about you guys? I don't know, but like when I was, I don't know, like even in the mastermind program where the guy was making 2.5 million a year, like he has so much free videos. Then I asked him like a question, like before we working together, he made like a video response, like a 30-second just kind of response on his phone. I was like, whoa, this guy actually, wow, it's really, really helpful. And it's very underrated, right? Because a lot of people like, they think, like for me, for example, I know that I used to get this a lot, especially like last year, like, well, Bryce, you have your accounting firm. Why do you need my money? I'm like, it's not really about the money, dude. Like if I wanted money, do you really think I'd be talking to people who have no traction with their business, who can't afford to pay me 20,000? Like the mastermind program we have for the full year is $20,000. And that's just right now. It's gonna probably go up to about 30,000 the next 2 to 3 years, right? If I was only in this thing for the money, I would only be going after the guys who can pay me 20,000 plus. Why? It's an easier sale. They don't complain. I tell them to do one thing, they go and get like $50,000 extra from that one tip that I give them. All we do on the phone, like for our coaching calls, is just laugh, joke, and just just talk some crap about life. It's so much more fun versus when I'm, working with someone who's just getting started. It's truly a lot harder, right? Because you guys, you're trying to grow from scratch. You're trying to um really gain momentum. You're trying to learn a bunch of skills like how to do sales consultations, how to actually do marketing, how to really price your services. A lot of little things that have to go involved in that. And it's just like, in a way to kind of ease that burden on me of like having to teach you a lot of skills inside of when you get in the program. I make all this free content so that generally like you use or you understand like how I think and how I like, really structure the way that we teach you to go and make money. You're in alignment with it. So then when you actually get on the phone, it's like, oh, Bryce, I actually like what you do. I've tried to utilize some of the stuff that you've been talking about. I got a couple of clients using some of the videos that you made, and I just need kind of like a little bit of like a help or just some moving forward, right? It makes it so much easier on me, and that's kind of why I have all this free content. All that to say, it's like you really got to look at it, right? Because there's some people who are just in it for the money, and it tends to cause them not to really take the actions that are needed for people to actually make money and get a momentum. Now, that actually comes to the next point, which is like, do they have student recap interviews? Okay, so the reason why these are important, right, is because you need to be able to see like what actually happened inside of the program. Was there a transformation? Was there an improvement? Rather than like I know sometimes like you just see people like they have like these phone interviews where it's like just them like sitting there in front of the phone. Hey, this guy helped me out so much. 10 seconds. Like that doesn't really tell you anything. Or you might see on someone's website, it's like they have like a picture of a face and they have like some words like in quotation marks. And that's cool, but I mean like you got to be able to see and like listen and hear and feel what was happening, right? You got to be able to go and see the journey and see the story, right? Because a lot of times what happens is you can tell whether a program is going to either work for you or it won't work for you based on like if you resonate or if you like kind of align with the people inside the interviews. So sometimes what happens, like if you ever booked a call with me, you're going to be taking like a thank you page and it's going to basically just talk about what we're going to do on the call, but also like gives you some recap interviews. And if you can see yourself as getting either the result or where the person is starting, it generally means that you're going to be a good fit for the person's program. Because all we do basically, if you watch the videos, if you resonate with the videos and you come on the call, like, oh, I like this person, this person, this person, not only can I make a faster plan because I'm just like, okay, this is basically what that person did, but I also know that all I have to do is just plug you into the existing system. You do the stuff based on what I tell you to do it. You're very open, you're very coachable. The next thing you know, you're sitting there, you're making $7,000 a month after like 15 to not 15. Sorry, that's a lot. That's a lot. You're going to be making like $7,000 a month within like 60 days. And then you're just like, oh, wow, Bryce, I'm so glad that I paid you the money. And that's kind of why those student recap interviews are really important, because you got to be able to see yourself before. Are you in alignment? Like, does this actually look like some people who you'd want to be around, especially if it's like a small group coaching program? You got to see like, is this the kind of environment that I want to be around? And then, yeah, man, those are the basic things. Also, yeah, those are the basic things. Like amount of support, how much free content, do they have student recap interviews, or is it just kind of like just random testimonials or like sound bites? Like those are the big things. So if you want some help going and growing your business, guys, just like I talked about today, there's so much free information I put on this channel. Like I give you guys weekly actually like live free trainings that are generally about 25-30 minutes, where I like basically recap what students did for the week and then show you exactly how to do it for yourself. And we have like lead coaching calls where you can kind of get a behind the scenes look of what it looks like to actually work with me. Then we also have resources and student recap interviews. So you can just kind of see like, hey, what does this look like? What does this journey look like? Like, what's my earning potential? How much can I actually make? Like, what can I actually do? And there's a lot of free information. Now, there's so much free information that it can be kind of overwhelming for some people, especially if you don't know what order to put the videos in, or you just don't really know what you don't know. If you want to skip all that confusion, if you want to just skip all the like the process of figuring this stuff out yourself, just click on the link inside the description to book a call with me. Like, it's going to take in my calendar. You can just choose a time that fits you the best. There's a couple questions on like this form. I just basically ask like where you're starting out now, so that when we actually get on the call, I can just look at it and be like, okay, this is where this person's at. I can ask you some like follow-up questions just to see if you're a good fit. Then I can just describe like what the process looks like for you to go and reach your goal. And if that's you, like, I would love to work with you. If it makes sense, we can just, work together long-term inside the program to help you go and reach your goals. And if it's not you, if you're not ready to book the call right now, there's no harm, no foul. Just keep consuming the free information, keep growing, keep moving. And when you're ready, let's work together long term. Okay. So hopefully you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you later.